What's going on, Taco fam? So, sneak peek weekend. It's past, it's gone, and I have some tournament results. And there's a few things I also want to talk about too near the end. I'll show you guys the main, the side, the extra, and some extra cards at the end. So, day one on Saturday. So, both days I went X1, and it was funny because I lost to Runic on both days, and pretty much the same way. So deck out and them hitting all of my side deck cards and me not drawing any of them. But it's neither here nor there. Either way, I ended up coming in second on both days. In my side deck, I'm currently not playing the 5 Rainbow Magician because I actually lent it to one of my teammates, which, ironic enough, on Sunday, on the second day of it, he actually was the one that won and I came in second. But we'll definitely talk about this. All right, so this is an update to what I posted the other day. Talk about some of the changes that I want to make, even still, like, as the format keeps evolving. But for the Despias, I'm playing 3 Aluber and 1 Quinn. So this card and Sanctifier were definitely the MVPs. Just the fact that if you leave this on the field, it applies so much pressure to your opponent every turn. And that plus Sanctifier is pretty much game because you pretty much loop them. And you get to keep looping anything that you want to bring back. You get to keep looping the puppet. So it gets really annoying for the opponent. Then for all the Albaz and friends. So 3 Albaz, Albion, Kit, Mercarrier, and the 2 Cartesia. So I actually want to play a second Mercarrier. I feel like it comes up a lot. When I was playing over the weekend, there was a couple times where I felt like I wanted a second one, but I think it was just more like insurance policy, I guess. This card was really good too for always getting cycled off of Quinn constantly every turn. And Albaz put in so much work the whole weekend. Like, I summoned Albaz so many times. And it was just really good. Just super poly cards are just really good. And then for the Bestials, so I went back to just playing 1-1 because I wanted to fit in some more non-engine cards, and I really wish this is a better format to play more Bestials in the main deck. So I do side 3, and I think Bestials are still good. It's just, if you're going to see a lot of super heavy stuff like that, it's like seeing super heavy and cash, these don't do anything. Typically, if I'm going second against those decks, these are out of my deck, period. Yes, he's good because he gives me a free dump, but I'd rather just draw a going second card or something if I'm going second. If I'm going first, there's an argument for me to just keep this one in and not this one, but it depends on the matchup. And the puppet, ban this card. But yeah, this card is really good. Obviously, we all know. Everybody's talking about expulsion, but I don't think anything changes. The more you play this deck, you're going to realize, yeah, there's other targets, but that means you get to evolve your deck. So we were already evolving our deck prior to deal with Iblis and stuff like that, which I think Iblis should go too. But we were playing Book of Moons, Eclipse, and stuff like that. And there's another card that I think people might want to play, but I'll probably touch on that in another video. For the spells, 3 Fusion, best one, obviously. 3 Opening, more value because we have Quim now. Nadir Servant. I still think this is a staple in this deck. Spoiler again, I'm not playing Ash in the main and or side. I know that might be a little weird for a lot of people, but I don't feel like Ash does enough. It's even now, Ash is like not broken against us. It's like just decent now because we have so many ways to keep playing anyway. And most of the time, we do everything else before Branded Fusion. 3 Deployment. Still need this. I think this is just good extender as well. So the one of branded spells that I played. So I want to play 2 red. It's actually come up where it felt like it was good to have a second one. Not just because of Cash and Runic, but just the fact that you can get back Quim. So if they successfully kill Quim, yeah, you could bring it back with maybe Expulsion or something like that, but just being able to add Quinn back to your hand is really good, and then fuse with your other cards. White, you definitely need this card. You can search it when you need it. High Spirit, self-explanatory, and Loss, self-explanatory. And then for the 2 traps, still just playing the Expulsion and Retribution. There's some argument for some other cards, but we'll definitely talk about that in a little bit. Pretty much staples. I kept seeing this card. All the games I lost, though, believe it or not, I opened this card. But it's because there was no reliable way for me to get it out of my hand when I wanted to. But I made it work. I actually used the Solemn Warning effect a couple times. And then for my non-engine cards, I decided to play 7. So that's why I cut down some Bestials and stuff like that. As you guys saw in the last profile, it was just 3 Kurkara. It was just like beginning of the format. Who knows what was going to really happen. Because I was just expecting still a lot of cash. Because, yes, everybody wanted to play the new deck. But to me, if there's no list, cash is still the best deck. Point blank. But now we have another card that cash has to worry about. I feel like Dark Ruler is a good main deck option as well. I'm considering playing a 3rd one in the main deck. Probably going to 9 non-engine cards with these. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with the engine. That's the problem. But drawing this, going second against Super Heavy is really good. You just want to draw cards that you can use against that deck if you don't win the roll. And 7's not a high enough number, honestly, to consistently see them. And that's one of my biggest problems against that matchup. Like game 1s. But typically, like game 2, if I do win the roll, believe it or not, depending on what I want to side in, all these come out because they're only good going second. And typically, if I do go second, I do take out the whole... Sometimes I take out the Nadir server package with the kit and everything. Yes, kit's still good, but kit's not very good going second. Lubellion's not very good. Unless you're playing against a lighter dark deck, the Bestial's not very good. So all those kind of cards can come out. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. That's 40. We don't go over that. And then for the extra deck. So the 2 boss monsters. So this card's insane. A lot of people don't give this guy credit. But the fact that he can't be targeted means you literally have to run him over. And you're probably not going to run him over because we're going to keep bringing stuff back from the graveyard. And he can't be used as material. The reason why this is a boss monster, because whenever you put your stuff back, you usually make this guy. And I actually synchro summoned a couple times, but we'll probably talk about that in a little bit. Then we got the 2 Jade, 2 Albion, and a Lubellion. I cut down Lubellion because it's not needed as much, in my opinion. Yes, cash is still a deck, but I will have to figure out a way to use it. Then we have Brigand. We have the Rembrum, Sprins, and Titan. Titan's actually really good. So I'm still trying to figure out a good way. Because whenever we're playing against Pearly, I think there's like a threshold that we kind of can't get over. Most times they get it to 4,600, I think. So the problem was I was trying to calculate so many ways to try to get this at least to 47. And I don't actually think it's possible without the help of another card in the extra deck, which we'll talk about momentarily. 2 Dust Dragon, 2 comes up in a combo, and you could loop it multiple times too. And the fact that you can summon Lulu off of this is really good. We have the Chimera and then Lulu. So this card is really good as well. I actually synchro summoned this card like 2 times. Like Saturday and 2 times Sunday. It actually came up. Some of the combos I showed you guys the other day, it actually did come up. Believe it or not. And even on some of my weaker hands, when I would synchro this, at least I knew I could get a negate out of it. If they start playing into the extra deck, you guys just make this 3,000 and then negate something. So what I ended up doing, use this to pressure any runic components. One was a teammate, one wasn't. This card, if it resolves, you get to play all your cards for free, pretty much, because you just negate Fountain. And if they don't stop this, then Fountain's turned off, and then you can actually safely kill them. And then side deck, decided a 3rd Dark Ruler. I kind of want to main this, but I just got to figure out how I'm going to squeeze it in without going over 40. I sided 3 more Bestials. I sided for Pearly. I sided for the Mirror, pretty much. Just having all these as utility is pretty good. Retaliating. I used this card a couple times, and it actually was really good. It actually won me my match against one of my teammates. Just being able to make all the runic cards get turned off, the Pearly cards getting turned off, it's really good. It forces them to like link into Donner, which did happen, to kill it, to blow it up, which is fine, because you lose a lot of cards when doing it. Some back row cards. Cosmic, this card was clutch too. It helped me out a rivalry. And it's actually good against a runic matchup, obviously. But like I said, I didn't resolve that against them because all the ones that I lost, I got decked out. Or they just hit all of my side deck cards. One, Blazing Branded King. I actually like this card a lot. I did side it in a runic matchup as well to try to negate the field spell. The whole main goal against them, negate the field spell and leave Sanctifier. Just leave Sanctifier. Sanctifier pressures them because none of their monsters are big enough and they can't target it with any card. So every turn, I'm going to keep trying to puppet lock them or try to keep fusing during their turn. They can't really do anything about it. So, and with this card being a thing, I can negate evenly match with this too. So, works out. In the last 4 cards, played 3 Super Poly and Mud Dragon. So, I kind of want to main this card as well too. So, this is another option for like going second cards to be able to use. This is really good against Super Heavy. It can be good against Cash too, but just being able to summon this is actually really good into the runic matchup because you could just make all you guys untargetable, which is kind of insane. So this plus Sanctifier, they can't target anything, and you pretty much can do whatever you want because then you just call Dark if you need to use Albaz to suck up one of their monsters. So it's actually really good. And I actually used this against Super Heavy. Sorry, Daryl. I ended up drawing 2 of these and broke his whole board and was able to OTK him. So the card's busted, but if I didn't draw it, I probably would have got cooked that game. But I didn't have my 5 Rainbow Magician. Like I said, I lent it out. So here's some honorable mentions. So I talked about this card briefly in a comment. So I've been theorying with this card, New Frontier. It's actually really good. I wish it was a real consistent way to like search it outside of terraforming and like maybe the Rainbow Bridge. But it doesn't restrict you of what phase. And if your opponent makes anything leave the extract, basically, so if they summon even a ritual monster, Ritual, Exceeds, Link, Synchro, you get to either activate one of the effects, and both effects are once per turn, so you get to choose which one you want to do. So the reason why I like this is because there's a lot of times where you might have a bunch of Albaz monsters and stuff stuck in your hand just from playing the game, or you just open too many. This could get them out of your hand. So if they do interrupt you and stop you, and you have this, you can just activate this to pretty much like flash out Albaz out of your hand, try to suck up a monster and fuse, or put a Cartesia on the board and then fuse. That's really good. And the other effect, you get to just add one of the names. So that's what made it an honorable mention. To me, it's a good card. I just wish it was more consistent ways to get to this. It would actually be really good. Okay, so Banishment, I did want to play this only because Quinn. Because she's a Despia. So you can use her, bring back. The problem is, I don't play Drago and stuff like that, which I don't think they're necessary personally. But this card makes it to where you can only summon 8 or higher fusions with this card. Even though you don't always have to fuse, you can just use it to reborn, but you may as well get max value if you can. Problem is, any target that I could think of was too low level. So there was Garura and Mud Dragon. The only reason why I really want to play this card. Just against the super heavy matchup, against Cash and stuff like that. But this might be worth testing. You guys let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. And then a real honorable mention here. This is something I've been theory crafting for a while, and I just haven't talked about it. Was Fallen of our Gyros. So as you saw, there are a couple cards in my side deck and main deck that can hurt Sprite, But I feel like this card's really good because you can expulsion this to their field as well if you don't hard draw it, because I probably wouldn't play more than one. But the fact that if there's a level 2 linked to a rank 2 on the field, you can just special summon it to either field. So you just pretty much summon this to a zone where they're going to be forced to use Sprint. So what I like to do, I like to summon Sanctifier in the EMZ. And then because of Sprint arrows being diagonal like that, you just pretty much summon it here. So whatever they summon here pretty much is going to be negated or can't activate their effects. So they have no real out to it. In my opinion, I think this is really good, and I think we probably should try testing this out. It could come up, like, even against some of the, like, maybe not the Apple deck, because I don't think they link summon that all that much, but I think it's actually kind of good against probably like Mathmex as well. If this was a quick effect, that would be insane. But in Mathmech, you can do the same thing. You could just summon this here, and then if you did draw this, you just put this right under the other EMZ, so now they can't access code you. So access code would not be able to use this effect. Even though it could remove itself for cost, this just prevents them from activating it. And it goes for both players. So I think those are some good options. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. There's also another card I've been theorying, but I don't have it on hand at the moment, which is, I think in Forbidden Droplet it might come back into the format. I think it should. Only problem is, branded, you don't want to lose too many cards, but at the same time, like I talked about earlier with the new Frontier, there are times where you draw too many Albaz monsters, and you kind of need to get them out of your hand, and to facilitate a lot of your plays that involve the graveyards. So you guys let me know what y'all think about that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully I was able to explain everything well enough. Hopefully you guys like some of the ideas. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And it definitely helps out with the algorithm. And I appreciate you guys, showing me a lot of love on the videos. And I'm definitely trying to keep interacting with you guys, answer questions the best way I can, theorycraft with you guys so we can all get better. Not just with Brandon in general, but get better at the game. If you guys want to see more content like this, please let me know. Peace.